Coming to you from Pipeline 2025, the Between Two Wrenches podcast. I'm Cooper. This is Phil, joined by Chris Enright Automotive, just outside of Columbus, Ohio.
Yes.
Correct? What's the specific name of the?
Enright Automotive. Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Well, joining us here at Pipeline, and this experience, how many times have you, is this your
my third.
Third trip out here?
Yeah, third trip out here.
What is it about, Pipeline, Milwaukee Tool, and kind of the ambiance and the attitude and the energy that keeps bringing you back every year?
So I keep telling people no one does it like Milwaukee, and their culture is infectious. It was actually one of the questions I asked last year during the Q&A is how they keep such a great culture in such a large company, because everyone you talk to carries that culture, and that's something that you see a lot of even smaller businesses struggle with, so let alone this huge conglomeration. And they just, I don't know, just no one seems to do it better. They do such a good job, so it's very infectious. Everybody's excited. Everybody's passionate about the company, the products, whatever they're working on. It doesn't matter.
Do you remember what they said when you asked that? Because that is a great question.
It's been a year.
I hate to put you on the spot.
I think I think they said they. I have it on camera. I have it somewhere, so I don't
roll
know
that
exactly.
footage.
Yeah, I'll have to look back and see exactly what they said. But
I mean, it's clear. It is 100%
really
clear. Like, this is our second pipeline, and when we came in last year, as like marketers and business owners, we're hyper aware, right? We're always trying to look at anything, learn what we can, and it's like, well, there's nothing to improve on in this whole organization that I can see. And I'm sure that, if you get micro, there's stuff. But it's just, excuse me, unreal.
Yeah. They do a great job.
Yeah, and when you go inside, and we did the tour last year, and we still talk about this, is when you have the chance to see the inner workings of and even the downtown office we went to yesterday, the Beehive, and everybody with the same goal in mind, completely aware of the brand, of what it stands for, and this relatability to like the end user that is, and we work with other large industries, that is a real tough find.
Yeah.
When they're like, our opinion is our opinion, but that's not the opinion that matters. It is the opinion of the end user, the person that's putting that tool in their hand or wearing the protective gear, and they get it to the core. And it seems like everybody from the engineering team and the dev team to the marketing team to project leads, everybody has an understanding of what their goal is, and it's almost unseen in the industry.
Yeah.
They are also like very kind of abnormally open to negative feedback.
Yeah.
Like when I first started working with Milwaukee, they wanted to send me a specific tool, and I said, I'm going to be honest with you. I have a very special place in my heart for this other brand. And I'm like, so I'm probably not going to like them. And she was like, it's okay. She's like, we want to send them to you. We like negative feedback. We want to know where we can improve. And I was like, oh, I am not used to hearing that at all. So that was like a breath of fresh air. So they do a really good job, and I'm very open and honest about my critiques and anything that I talk about on any of their stuff. And they'll point it out. They like actually watch my stuff, and they're like, hey, I was disappointed that you didn't like that, but thank you for the feedback. It's super cool.
Yeah, and they act on it. They're not just.
Well, yeah.
I think there's a lot of organizations that hear that negative feedback is an opportunity, which it is, and that's like I try to run my life, my shop, in that same kind of headspace. It's also cool when you see a company as successful as Milwaukee that does it too, and you're like, I'm on to something
right.
here.
Yeah.
The right thing is usually the hardest type of deal. But there's a lot of companies that I'm supposed to ask this. So sure, what's the negative feedback? And it stops there because I've watched it not go up the chain of command because they don't want to feel like they're bringing something bad to their boss. It might paint them in a negative light, whatever. But like the whole organization here fosters a comfortable space to be able to share that information. Like, hey, we're not gonna that's what we need to know because we want to improve it.
Yeah, right. We just had that conversation over lunch today. Talking about a specific tool or a specific piece, and the guys at the table were like, "Well, tell me how that could be better. Like, what is it about this particular product that isn't, suiting your needs?" And they were just both attentively listening to that that feedback from people that are working on it every day, and it's
And you get that
uncanny.
everywhere you go around Pipeline.
I
Like
know,
it's like
it's bizarre.
It is almost like, what are they putting in your Kool-Aid? I said that on the podcast because it's.
I mean,
like,
they gave us these water bottles.
Yeah,
Are
they
these
filled them up
pre-lined with
for
a little
us,
bit
too,
of a little bit of friendly juice there?
But I just, or even like sometimes too, and like, obviously, I'm an outgoing guy. I love social media, like getting out there. Also, I'm extremely an introvert too. So like even in these events, like I get out there and I'm walking around, and sometimes it's like, I don't know if I want to talk to this person standing in front of the tool that I want to check out. I don't know if anybody else has ever felt that way, but like every interaction, they're just so, it's just perfect. It's seamless. They'll give you, every time I walk away, I'm like, man, I'm really glad I got to get that information from that person. And it didn't feel salesy. It didn't feel, they're just proud. They're proud of the work that they've done, and they're excited to share it.
It's a great way to put it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And let's talk about you, Chris. Automotive guy, obviously cars. When did that passion start for you? Was it passed down, or something you kind of grew up on as a kid? Where did your passion for working on vehicles come from?
Definitely not passed down. My dad told all of us five, I'm one of five, and he said, do not work with your hands. So he
Noted.
said, use your brain. Don't do manual labor, because he was in construction all of his life. And I was the only one out of the five that didn't listen. And so actually it was just a passion for cars. So that I don't see that much nowadays. It's kind of shifted, but back when I got into automotive, there was a huge drive of people just interested in modifying their cars and working on their own cars and whatnot. So that's what got me into it. And then I was working on my own stuff, and then decided that I would go to tech school at UTI. And so started from there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So, what do you got? Do you specialize? Are you all makes, all models? Do you have?
So
tell us a little bit about your core business.
So I specialize in Hondas and Acuras, but I also do work on Asian and domestic vehicles. No Euros, no diesels. I've specialized in Hondas basically since I got into the industry, which is almost 17 years. I've just always been really passionate about Hondas. Just even my own personal vehicles, I just love Hondas. So kind of one of those like hardcore, diehard Honda fans.
Yep.
Even just like down to their minivans. I don't know why. I just really like their product. So so that's I try to get that as my like bread and butter. That's what I try to focus on, but obviously not everybody just drives Hondas.
Yeah, but you're trying to change that.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right.
One customer at a time.
That's
Sorry,
right.
I can't help you. But
I'm close to the Marysville plant, so that does help.
Yeah.
So in Ohio, so there's a ton of Hondas in Ohio, so it does help me for sure. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So 17 years. You also have quite following on socials.
yeah.
Talk a little bit about how that kind of came to be. Also, plug yourself.
It's Enright Auto or Enright Automotive on social media, whatever platform. If you type in either one, it'll probably come up. I started out because I just really liked tools, and I loved watching tool reviews, and I was just like, man, like if they're doing it, why can't I do it? Like, so that's actually what it started out as, was just tool reviews and just doing stuff. I did a lot of like trends and things, just having fun, being goofy, and I started really enjoying it, and then started doing it more consistently, and it started taking off. Well, then obviously starts taking off. You're like, oh man, people actually like this stuff. So then you start doing it more, and naturally and progressively people just started asking about the shop. And so now I do a lot of like industry related shop owner, technician, advisor, like advice and my opinions and things I changed and struggled with starting the shop, so on and so forth. And so now it's both. It's industry related stuff and tools.
Okay, cool.
yeah, I think I saw a video of you kind of giving advice to those who are contemplating, starting their own automotive shop.
Yes.
So I guess maybe I'll flip that back on
Don't
you
do it.
and back and take you backwards a little bit outside of when the social media became a part of it. When did you decide that you go to tech school, and instead of just becoming a technician or being able to wrench at a specific place, that you wanted to I don't like to sleep much, so I think I'm going to start. I think I'll wrench and I'll start my own business. Like what was that process like to to open your own shop 17 years ago?
So my shop's only been for 5 years.
Okay, 5 years.
Been
Gotcha.
in the industry for 17. I started my shop out of frustration, which I always tell people don't do, is not a great way to start a business. So I started out of frustration. I wish I had started it sooner. So if it's something that you are like you're passionate about it, definitely like push yourself to do that sooner rather than later. I feel like you obviously need to be prepared as well, but some of the stuff you just got to learn on the fly. Like that, you're not going to learn everything, and I think that's what we think a lot of times is like, oh, I don't know this, or I don't know that, or this isn't perfect. There's a lot of stuff that you're going to screw up. It's okay. Like that's how you learn. So, but yeah, that I started out of frustration because all of the previous experiences I had working for independent shops and dealerships, I worked at both. None of them were good. It's sad to say, but I didn't have any like great experiences. I can't say they were like horrible or terrible. They just weren't great. The culture wasn't great. I worked in a flat rate environment, which, I made a lot of money, but I hated the toxic work culture. The first shop that I worked at, the owner was great. I learned a ton. He screamed and yelled a lot at everything, which, it's good and bad. I think it depends on your personality type. Like it forced me on a like progressive path because I got to the point where I didn't want to ask him questions anymore. Yeah. And because I didn't want to hear him scream and yell about stuff. So then I just forced myself to figure it out. So it did help me in that way, but it also got to the point where I couldn't take it anymore. And I'm like, all right, I got to get out of here. So it was kind of a, catch-22.
Yeah. You mentioned company culture in there. I know it's a big thing at Phil's shop as well, is keeping, finding quality technicians, but also having a culture that understands the business model and can work well together. Like, what are some of the things that you do to keep the culture inside of your shop positive and uplifting and moving in the right direction?
Well, it's easy because it's just me. So
perfect.
Yep, just a sole prop.
If anybody's mad, you just be mad at yourself.
I can't fire the boss, but I can give him some time off.
Yeah.
But so I'm big on culture just in general, anyways, because I do a lot of like podcast listening to leadership podcasts and entrepreneurial podcasts and things. And a lot of that has to do with the top down. So I think as the owners, including myself, obviously, because I'm the owner, but you have to be self-aware of like the problem is likely you. So it's not always the other side. You have to look at yourself first and be like, okay, why are they acting this? Is it something I'm doing? Is it the culture I'm creating? So everything starts at the top and works its way down every single time. So if you have a bad company culture, then it's probably you. Right. and that's a hard pill to swallow. I had to swallow the same pill of like after I started my shop, I realized I had no clue what I was doing and my business sucked and I wasn't making any money and there's a lot of things I had to change, and I realized like, well, who's at the helm? Me. So I didn't know what I was doing, so I had to face that.
Yeah, no, I understand that for sure. And it was a friend of mine several years back because he owned a construction company, and he had I was probably having coffee with him complaining about something. As we do sometimes, trying to just look for an answer with an employee that I had. And because at some point, I was just frustrated with the lack of work, and it seemed like I couldn't get through to him, and, I was contemplating letting him go. And he's like, well, remember you hired him for a reason. What was that reason, and have you been fostering it? Because sometimes you hire people because you know that they're trainable.
Yeah.
That's a big one. Or, all right, they're a set it and forget it. And if they're trainable, well, did you do what you needed to do as a leader to train them? Or did you hire them knowing they were trainable and then get frustrated because they weren't a set it and forget it type of employee? And which both are fine. There's no wrong answer, because sometimes you just have to adjust, and all the business needs are different now than what they were 2 months, 6 months, a year ago. So I don't know. Yeah, but it definitely does start with you.
and ends
with you.
Also
yeah, really,
you.
You're the only one that matters. Then usually most of the problems are your own doing.
Right. Yeah.
The T-shirt. Well. If it isn't the consequences of my own actions.
Yep.
Coming back to haunt me.
My first boss would always say, "You create your own environment."
Yeah.
And that's very true.
Yeah, it's wild how like all of those different one-liners that we've heard in our lives come back around later. The older you get, you're like, oh, I actually get that one now.
Yeah. Well, when I put in my 2 weeks at that place, that was one of my things I said, because he constantly said it to me. And he's like, well, why are you quitting? And I'm like, you create your own environment. Because that's what he said to me. And I'm like, I can't take the screaming and the yelling and the anger. And he was just so mad about everything all the time. And I'm like, it's just a toxic environment. Like, I don't want to be around this anymore.
Right.
And so, yeah, he didn't like that very much, but it was the truth. Like, I didn't know what else to say.
Yeah,
The
fair.
truth hurts. There's another one of those phrases. It doesn't make any sense when you're a kid, but all of a sudden, you're a little older, a little more wise. We talk about the balance, running your own shop, and obviously social media and being successful in social media, which obviously is judged by followership and people that kind of believe in your message. Like, how do you balance out, because it is work, so being consistent on social media, fostering your following is work. Also, obviously, your work is your work. How do you balance those two things out to kind of find a happy medium?
I tell people there is no balance.
Fair.
There's no such thing as work-life balance. It does not exist.
Certainly not for an owner.
Yeah, definitely not for an owner. Honestly, like I when I was a flat rate tech, I was very good at like being efficient and looking at things and finding the best way to do this. Not like a shortcut, or just what's the best way of doing this. So I've done the same thing with social media. I also go in an hour and a half early before I open the shop every day. So the shop's 8:30 to 5. I go in at 7 a.m. So I have time in the morning. If I'm waiting on parts, waiting on approvals, whatever it is, I'll pull out my phone or my camera and I'll record a quick video or whatever. Or in the mornings, I'll record 4 or 5 and then schedule them out for the week. So and it changes. Like sometimes the shop's like super busy and social media falls back. And sometimes the shop's super slow and I don't have anything to record content on. So then I'm like, so there is like a happy spot in there where the shop is busy but not too busy, where I can do both really well. But that's very rare. I was showing somebody my gross revenue numbers chart, and it was just like this, like for 5 years, and it's just up and down. I'm like, that's pretty much my life, and that's a business owner's life. I feel like it, but I think if you plan it out and you actually like force yourself to do it, you can. It's not going to be like a balance because again, there's going to be ebbs and flows. You just have to be okay with those ebbs and flows. And there's sometimes like on social media, like certain platforms just fall off for some reason, and they'll fall off for several months, and then all of a sudden they'll kick back in and you'll crush it for a while, and then they'll fall off. So it's the same exact chart, and it just depends on what's going on, summer, winter, trends. There's so many different outside variables that are out of your control. You just have to get comfortable with it and go with the flow.
Yeah, that's a big part.
It's got to become part of this is part of the job.
Yeah.
It is what it is now.
Yeah.
Have you found anything to smooth some of those peaks and valleys out in the business?
In the business, yes, basically focusing on like the type of clientele that I want, and focusing on like time management in the shop as well as like scheduling better, because
you service advise you.
Yeah,
bro.
I'm the CEO, the chief everything officer.
Yeah, geez, Louise.
Yeah, so it's a lot, but we do well. So I'm definitely happy. We've been looking for a larger location for a while, so that's been a really big pain point for me because I'm ready to expand. I'm at that point. But we're also 4 miles from the Intel microchip plant in Ohio that they're building, and that's like this huge undertaking, and there's no commercial property under $1 million right now. And it stinks because I've been saying that for years now because it's been building for years, and I hate to even use it as an excuse anymore, but it's just the reality of where I'm at, and if I want to move, I have to go 20 to 30 minutes away from where I'm at, and I have this vision of I want to be where I'm at specifically. I've had that from basically the beginning because I love the area, and for growth, it's going to be amazing. Like there's so many other corporations and businesses coming in around this, and the specific cities I want to be in, there's not a lot of shops. So the potential is astronomical for sure. It's just getting my foot in the door and finding a place, which I have some potential places now that hopefully we're praying will work out. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yes.
And your growth, do you have like a growth plan of where you see your business in 5 years?
Absolutely not. I tried that in the beginning, and it's just not for me. It's so funny. I had that somebody asked me that question recently on social media, and I tried it. I really will beat myself up a bunch because if I don't hit the goal, like it really brings me down. So I'm just mostly focused on like the now and like prospering where you're planted, like trying to do the best I can do with what I have and focus on growth where I'm at. Because if not, I start to lose sight and start to complain and whine about where I'm at, and I'm frustrated because I'm still here, and it puts me in a really bad spot. So mentally, so I got to keep myself out of there, basically.
I mean, speaking about being self-aware, I mean, that's huge, dude.
Yeah, that's a big one. Working in, you kind of talked about some of the different specific vehicles that you work on. What are you seeing though in the industry as far as trends that you've seen? Obviously, there's a lot of changes with the ADAS stuff becoming more impactful on the newer vehicle models and stuff like that. But what do you see kind of from your neck of the woods about automotive industry and kind of the direction where it came from and kind of where it's going to?
It's so weird. It is. I feel like it's such a weird spot right now, because there was like all of this technology all at once, and then now we're kind of like they're trying to perfect what they have, and then
Right.
now add it into everything. Technology, like having the right tools for the job. Like you hear this all the time, and I never. It's an independent shop thing, unfortunately, and I think dealerships might do it as well, but like. We can do anything that a dealership can do, but most people don't know that.
Right.
So it's either they've been told by an independent shop, oh, you have to take that to the dealer. No, it's because you didn't invest into the tooling, or
Right.
the dealership will say this can only be done here. So I think that's why the general public has this perception. But like, I think that's going to be a huge step forward and a big, like it's going to be an extremely important part of the puzzle for independent shops to move forward. They're going to have to tool up with like, being able to program and basically be able to do what the dealership's doing. And I think specialization is a focus that a lot of shops will have to start going to, because it's hard enough. Like it's hard to do everything, and it's hard enough just for me to do Asian and domestic and still specialize. Like I think now I'm at like 54% of my revenue comes from Hondas and Acuras.
Yeah.
So like that's still a lot. And even with only, whatever 46% left of everything else, I'm like, man, this is a lot. How do these guys work on diesels, Euros, Asian, domestic? Like they're working on everything. That's a lot to remember and be good at everything. And I think we'll start to see that as time progresses. If the technician shortage continues to head the way it's heading, which I'm hoping it doesn't, a lot of shops are going to have to shut down because they're not going to be able to hire techs. They're not going to be able to keep up with technology and everything else. So,
Well, I think that's kind of a cycle that we've seen before.
Yeah.
It went. I actually just had this conversation out on the floor with another shop owner, but like you used to have alignment shops, and you used to have front end shops, and you used to have lube shops, and then obviously it was like everybody's doing everything. And I think, yeah, you're right. And it was probably the same reason, because it took specialty tools. And I mean, it's no different. Like, anytime we want to go, I wonder where this is going to go, we really just look at where we came from.
It's very true.
History, there's another one. History repeats itself. And you don't need to try to argue with it, because it does.
It truly does, for sure.
And, we're at a spot, though, like we had a partnership with an alignment shop. And it's like, I think every shop owner that's like, you didn't buy a rack yet? You didn't buy a rack yet? It's like, I have the rack. I just don't have the calibration machine. I was doing it in steps, back off. But I know that like that's something that we could bring into our shop, and it's like, oh my gosh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
But some of that programming, like, oh, you know what? So-and-so across town, or we've got a mobile diagnostics guy.
Yeah.
Like the wizard, right? The guy that's just like, what? All right. He'll come in for those crazy things we can't, because we do all makes, all models, but there are certain things that we know that we're going to take a hit on, because we're also fighting that. We might not have all the answers, but we're not going to say no.
Yeah.
We're going to say we'll find out, or we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Because we fight the whole, well, I thought I had to take this to the dealership. Well, and there's something about the warranty of the car. They're like, they just think like, well, if I don't take it to the dealership, I won't get a warranty. It's like, that's not true.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. And I think that's true, too. And I think it's good. Like, it'll be nice, honestly, like for us as an industry, it's better if we go to that where we're specializing more, because it's going to be much more efficient, much more profitable, better for the clientele too, because they'll have a shop that's better tooled up, better at the vehicles that they're working on. But then same thing, like if you don't want to do programming, there's tons of mobile programmers out there that are amazing at their jobs. And it's great because you can still, again, use them, supporting them, and you can still be profitable.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be a much better situation for us. It's just getting there. It's going to be rough, I feel like, for the next probably 7 to 10 years, but maybe sooner than that.
Yeah. Well, it's just it's a little bit of a purge too.
Yeah,
like
it is.
Like COVID was a purge too of a lot of shops, but it was definitely external. I think that sure everybody starts with me, right? So they made a choice to shut down, but I understood that it really was some outside pressures. But what you're talking about definitely is that it's going to be an internal decision.
Yeah.
Like, this just isn't,
Yeah.
the juice isn't worth the squeeze for certain people.
Yeah.
And then, unfortunately, that supply demand, we can kind of control those two factors or adjust to those two factors, and we'll have more cars through the door, as long as we make the decision to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and you learn to start saying no to what works. Like it's a common question I get when I do questions on Instagram and stuff, is like, what do you say no to? And I'm like, I say no to a lot of stuff. Most shops won't, and that there's no problem with that. I'm smaller, so like for me to do timing chains on a 3.5 EcoBoost is goofy. My margins go out the window. So I just tell the client, I'm like, my margins are not there. I need to be profitable. I have a shop that's better suited for this. They'll take really good care of you, and I send them there, and it's okay. Like it's not personal; it's business for me. And for me, whatever that job takes, and for me it'd take forever because I never do them. I could do 10, 15 Hondas in the amount of time that one job, and my margins are where they need to be, versus that job my margins might be at 40%. I don't want that 40% job that's going to take me 2 days. That's silly. When I can have 20 jobs that are 60% margin or 65%. I'm taking those jobs all day long. It just makes more sense, especially when I'm a smaller shop. Like I have to be profitable. I have to support my family. I have bills to pay. Just normal business stuff. So
Yeah. Well, and sometimes I've made a lot of those decisions the wrong way.
And a lot of times they bite you.
And a lot of I've kicked the can down the road on certain things over the years because I could make it work. It was just more stress, and some of it was like, I guess it's a problem for later, but it allowed the environment, the culture, the lifestyle, also personally, that my family and I wanted to kind of foster. But then you kind of, as the storm kind of clears, and you really start sifting, because you get to a part in your business too where, like, I'm addicted to growing.
Yeah.
But I'm also like not a detail guy. So it's like, what's next? What's next?
Yeah.
What's next?
Gotcha.
And that's really great. And it can foster a pretty exciting environment. But like, I kind of almost got like hooked on that rush of like what's going on next. And so it's a part of my personality that I encourage, but it needs to live in a space.
Yeah.
And as I separate things out, over the last couple of years, it's like I've had to say no to a lot more things, whether it's opportunities for the team or work coming through the door, and find things that are a little bit more consistent, because my peaks and valleys were also.
Yeah.
It was getting to a point where it was like, man, this just isn't good. I'm almost 40 years old, and I'm like, you can handle some more of that when you're 22, 23.
Yeah.
Like, well, whatever. I started my shop when I was 19.
Oh, wow.
So yeah.
Just riding 20 years of riding that roller coaster up and down.
You get to a point where you're like, okay, something's got to give.
Yeah.
I just need some sort of monotony in my life.
Right.
Well, and there's pros and cons to everything, like you were saying. Like you're addicted to the growth, and like doing everything versus what I'm doing, saying no to lots of things. You'll grow a lot faster that way. I grow a lot slower, and some people don't want that slow growth, and I understand that. There's nothing wrong with that. It just depends on, I guess, what you're looking for, because I have several friends who started shops after me that are much bigger than I am, but I also have a lot less problems and a lot less headaches than they do. But I'm not nearly as big as they are, so they wanted this and I wanted this, and so that, I guess it just depends on the way you look at it and what you want. Like, I want to grow, but I also don't want to kill myself in the process.
No.
So, like, from the stress, and everybody handles that stuff differently. So it's there's definitely a give and take for sure.
Well, and it's somebody that, again, for me, like, I couldn't do the same. Like, I'm sure you get excited by the same job.
Yeah.
Because, like, man, I know I can either beat it or I find a way to be a little bit more efficient. I'm like, I did it once. I know I can do it. That's
Check.
Great.
Check the box.
Yeah, and I never look back.
Yeah.
So that's why, I have a team. We've got, in both my businesses, we've got great teams, and we're building that environment. And that's what's exciting for me, because that's the plate that I can keep spinning. But do you ever think about just, like, physically, like what it looks like for you? Do you plan on working with your hands as long as you can?
No. I want to get off the bay as soon as possible.
Okay.
Yeah, so like my goal has I like my personal goal with the business is get to a point where I can go on vacation and still make money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like obviously if I like right now I'm losing revenue because I'm not in the shop.
Correct.
So like anytime I'm not in the shop, so and you know it's going to depend on the way you look at it, but I feel like I just own a job. Like I
Yes.
have much more freedom than like, you know, a normal job, but on the same token, it's like if I don't work, we don't make money. And so I want to get to that point where, you know, I have really good people in place where I can leave and they can do their thing and they can crush it and I can go do what I need to do, go on vacation with my family or whatever, and I don't have to think about it. When I'm on vacation now, it's not all I think about, but I think about it a lot when I'm on vacation, and I should be present with my family, and that's hard to do because, you know, my wife stays at home with our kids and homeschools them, so I'm the sole, you know, income earner, so, you know, obviously that pressure's there, so yeah.
Yeah. No, that's got to be intense. But I also believe that, well, from a guy who's done it, seen a lot of shops come and go, seen a lot, you know, and you're like, well, there's no right way to do it really. But honestly, the way you're doing it is the right way. Like, put in the work, do the grind.
Yeah.
You know, saw you at the gym this morning. You know that it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, we thought we were all badass. Well, I thought I was pretty badass getting there, you know, before 5:30. This dude's in here already just got a
Wrapping
sweat
up.
cranking around, and I was like, ah. But I think it made us work harder because I'm like, oh, I think Chris Enright was in here throwing weights around before we got out of bed. So
Yeah, well, when you have a pretty big health scare, you start to take things a lot more seriously. So that didn't come on accident. It came on, not on purpose. I didn't plan that, but it made me really rethink my life and my health and just longevity in the field. It's something that is not talked about enough in this field, and taking care of yourself. And like, you know, you see the memes where you see the really old guy and they're like, oh, he's 27, you know.
Yeah.
We've all seen that, and it's sad, but it has some sort, you know, all those have some sort of truth to them. And, you know, you on social media especially, like, you see all the people hating, like, you know, oh, you're wearing gloves, or I can't believe you're wearing safety glasses, or who wants to use, you know, that makes the job too easy, or be a man, and all this stupid stuff. And it's like, yeah, I want to be able to, like, actually enjoy my life when I'm 60 and 70 years old. I don't want to be crippled by the time I get to that point.
Right.
So it's something that needs to be talked about more. So that's another one of my goals, is I add some fitness into my social media stuff just to kind of make it prevalent, to like help
Normalize
technicians.
it.
Yeah, like make it be more of like a thing. Like, hey, you matter, you're important, your body's important. If you want to help people, because we are an industry, I say we're one of the most like generous industries that want to help people. That's what you hear all the time. Like, I just want to help people. I don't charge more because I want to help people. Okay, well, if you're dead or hurt or crippled, you can't help people anymore. So you have to take care of your body. So start with yourself first, and then that goes out.
There's a theme here. Starting with yourself.
it all comes back to you, I believe, is the theme here.
For sure.
What was the health scare that, if you wanted to, I mean, we don't have to get into
Oh yeah,
that.
no, it's fine. So it actually turned out to be almost nothing, but so I had 3 ribs out of place that I had no idea about, and so I was having all of these sharp pains, and then I was getting super sick from, I was taking so much ibuprofen that I was having like heartburn and indigestion, so it was making me throw up and get sick. And then I was driving to a training event in North Carolina and almost passed out in the car from so much pain, and so because I thought I was having a heart attack, and so come to find out that was all from my ribs being out of place and taking so much ibuprofen. And I always knew, like, you know, you tell yourself, like, I know I'm out of shape, I need to, and I don't look like, I've been blessed with a high metabolism, like I don't look like I'm out of shape, but I was horribly out of shape. Just because you don't look it doesn't mean you're not. And so
that first time in the gym, you're like, golly.
That's essentially what it was. Yeah, you know, you think you're dying after you're done working out. So I
so much better.
started going to the gym and hired a personal trainer, and you know, I had some help. A friend of mine's a lead trainer at a gym, and he's been a lead trainer for like 13 or 14 years, so he's awesome, and he kind of got me connected and let me train with him for a week for free to just try it out. And that's kind of what started, because I'm the type of personality, like, I don't motivate myself.
I hear you.
But if I say I'm going to be somewhere and I have an appointment with a trainer, I'm showing up. So that was like okay, I'm going to be here for my trainer. And so I work out with her twice a week. And the other 3 days she's there, and so she doesn't see me. She's like, hey,
Where
where
you
were
at?
you? So that helps a lot as well.
Accountability.
So that's
Mhm.
exactly
Yeah.
what it is, accountability. Yep. So it forces me to, and now she's not around and I'm here, and I still go into the gym like on my own because now it's a habit.
Yeah.
Now I know the benefits. Like I feel worse when I don't work out. Like
Yep.
I'm like, man, I need to get in the gym because I know it's going to help me throughout the day. So,
And mentally too.
oh, huge,
Like,
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I follow Joe DeCina, the creator of the
Spartan race guy.
Oh,
Spartan race
nice.
guy. He's awesome.
Yeah.
But something landed that he had said months ago, and dealing with like some of my own stuff, anxiety stuff, and he's like, the body like will store that energy, and it needs to be burned.
Yeah.
And it was just, and I probably screwed up the verbiage of what he was saying, but essentially that's the deal. And like, I've been in and out of I didn't start till I was like 31 or 32, because like my 20s was like drink beer and build a shop, man, who cares? And then I had a low back issue, and I was like, I'm too, and I was, having a kid, or we had a kid, and I would get like winded walking up the stairs, and I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
So I did the same thing, but I signed up for our local like the Gold's Gym. They had like aerobic classes in the morning.
That's awesome.
So like it was like me and like a bunch of like 50 and 60-year-old ladies, and I just go do plyo and whatever it was, because it
That's
was
awesome.
I knew then, and then if you're not there, those gals are like, what's going on? Because they're there every morning.
Where's our Phil?
Yeah,
Where's our
100%,
young?
dude.
Where's that young man that used to come in and do plyometrics with us at 6 o'clock in the morning?
But it doesn't stop though. Like you have to keep putting the work in.
Yeah.
You know, last year, 38, I had screwed up my low back again, and I learned that I never quite learned the fundamentals of training that I needed to be able to truly like squash this problem. Now, I mean, I know what to do. I know how my body, like I deep dove into
Yeah.
it. And it's wild how, like, if you stop, it stops.
Yeah.
So-
It's amazing how much like we don't realize like everything's attached in so many different things, and there's always a root cause to something that we have no idea about. And so like finding that root cause and making a change in your life is like, oh crap, like, you know, all this pain I was feeling, I had no idea it was my ribs. I was getting pain in my neck and my back, and I was getting horrible headaches all day long, and I was it was all root cause of this. And then now I get super like bad knots, and I was like, where's this pain coming from? Come to find out it's from really bad knots coming in my back. Okay, so now you find out what that root cause is and you fix it. Like I say it like this, like it's okay to go to the chiropractor, but there's a reason. You don't need to continually go to a chiropractor.
Right.
Find the root cause of what's causing you, and then get your adjustment, and then find out, and then build your base up. You need a good, strong base. Like we're bending over cars and in weird positions, and you're
All the
doing
time.
all sorts of weird stuff. Like I think about it. I sent a meme to my trainer, and it's like basically all the mechanics were like, I don't know why my back hurts. I don't know why this, and then it shows them in all these weird positions.
Yeah.
That's basically me. I'm like,
lifting
here's why.
tires.
why do I feel this way? Well, you start to think about like what you're doing all day. You're like, holy crap, like duh. So
Yeah.
yeah, like and we just take it for granted, and pop 65 energy drinks a day, and do all this.
Power through, man up.
Yeah, and it's like
Wow.
that. No wonder you feel like crap.
Yeah.
No wonder. Like it makes sense, but again, it's like having that self-awareness. Like, oh,
Well,
crap,
it's
a
easy to
decision.
it's easy to get caught up in like the pressures of life, the
Yeah.
pressures of like I just have to do this, I have to do this. So if I'm tired, so like an energy drink will just get me through today.
Yep.
But yeah, you're not necessarily addressing what needs to be addressed. And then when you can slow down and start peeling through that, I don't know, I felt just a lot more grounded in everything.
Well, it's big to like slow down. Like that's another thing. Like that's one of the biggest things I learned when I started making changes to my shop. Is like I went to a training and they were like, "Well, you need to add these processes and do this and that." And I was like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I said I feel so overwhelmed. I feel like I can't make another decision right now. Like I have no idea what else to do. I'm so busy. Like I was doing 80 cars a month in a 1-bay, 10.5 foot ceiling, 950 square foot shop, which is idiotic. And they're like, you need to start making some changes and adjusting one thing at a time. you need to slow down, and you don't feel like you can or want to slow down.
Right, because I'm going to lose money. I'm
Yeah.
going to lose, and everybody's afraid of not being able to provide. Right,
Yes.
another dude thing that
Yeah.
we are ingrained. And if I do that, and honestly, just hearing that, I hear you, and I go, I reflect that back on me, and I'm like, all right. So if I did a training and I was trying to make my shop more efficient, I don't even know if I want to do that.
Yeah.
Like, it is overwhelming.
It is. It's a lot. There's a lot to it, and it's hard to do, but those are the hard decisions you have to make. And, slowing down and making those changes seems, for me anyways, always to benefit me way better than just staying in the grind and doing this consistently and, head down. Like it's a terrible way to operate a business. That's just what we do, though.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
It's good to get that wake up call and be like, all right.
Work in it or work on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it's great though to have people like you, especially speaking to technicians
Yeah.
about it, because they can be kind of a stubborn group
Yeah.
with some of the topics that you talked about. You got to man up. I'm not wearing gloves. I'm not wearing a helmet, not eyeglasses, none of that stuff. So I
Right.
think it's almost part of the initiative of the things that you're doing is normalizing, like, hey, it's not just you're 8 to 5 and then that's it, and you don't eat well or you don't sleep well or you're getting through the day with Monster energy drinks. Read the label, and maybe some of those things on there are probably not good for you. I mean, your insides may live forever, but the rest of you is probably not going to make it very far. But I think to have like guys like you in the industry, sending that message out, along with all the other stuff about the business aspects of it and the work, and but to be like, hey, it's more than just this. It's more than just the hours of the day that you're here, because it's a tough role. I mean, have had guys that have worked in the shop and that no longer work in the shop that you're just like, man, just too hard. Like too hard. Didn't take care of things. Never heard of stretching.
Right? No. Yeah.
Like
We encourage that.
Yeah.
And we'll give the guys, we've got a local chiropractor that we utilize, and it's
nice.
like, sure, you can go there, but like, here's where you can go to start doing some yoga. Here, I train jujitsu, and so like I have a awesome community around that, and it's like, come on, do that.
Yeah.
Coop won't, but
no.
but he
to have
drags
that
me
stuff,
to the
though.
gym.
It's
Yeah,
good to have
absolutely.
that stuff. Like
Just other
something.
outlets.
Yeah, even like something that has a community, like CrossFit's like a big one. Like
Yeah,
people love
absolutely.
That. So, like, find something that has a good community. It'll help like encourage you to do it more, which is really good. So yeah.
And it takes you out of it gives you a window into a little bit more life, because I know, like, a lot of, myself included, but technicians also, like, they feel like it's work,
Yeah.
home, work,
Yeah.
home.
Oh, for sure.
And it's like, well, you can throw a little something in there for yourself that's going to actually give you more time for both and space mentally.
Yeah, that's a tough realization to come to, is that
Yeah.
you can create the time. You
Yeah.
just kind of have to want it and
Starts
know what's on
with-
the other end of things if you don't, take care of yourselves or have a multivitamin.
Yeah, choose your hard.
Yeah,
Well, and that's the
choose your
thing.
hard.
It's like I think a lot of them, because everything's like energy drinks and sleeping late and not sleeping good, and because they don't have the energy because of that. Well, choose your hard. Like, you got to make the decision. Like, okay,
Right.
what am I going to start changing to get that more energy? Because when you start waking up early, you're like, it's counterintuitive. You're like, wait, I'm going to have more energy by waking up earlier and going to the gym. That doesn't make any sense. But you do. You have a ton more energy. You feel better throughout the day. But you have to make that choice, and making that change is not easy. Like, I was waking up at 6 o'clock, 6:30 at the earliest most of the time, just getting ready and going straight out to the shop. Now I wake up at 4:20 to get to the gym by 5. Like, it's not.
Yep.
It wasn't an easy choice, and my wife chose it with me because I decided that I was going to do it. But I feel so much better, so it was it was a good choice for me. It's a good choice.
Yeah,
I
and that was a big part of my life. That same time frame, and then I didn't necessarily feel like I was taken away from the family. It was just me. I could go do this, and it just puts a lot of things in perspective.
Yes, it does.
And it's good to have somebody to keep you accountable.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah,
Very much
because sometimes you still make the choice to have a few beers at night.
Right.
And then
I
you
definitely had to
still
make
have-
a phone call at 4:45. I'm like, what do you think? How are we doing? We're gonna start the day.
That's awesome.
Chris, we started the conversation talking about Milwaukee Tool and Pipeline and what a great event this is, and cool for guys like us to get to see the new innovations in a company and a brand that's always always changing, ever evolving, always being a solution to problems in the industry. But what is it about Milwaukee Tools themselves that gets you passionate? That is like, this is why this is what's in my shop.
I feel like they're always innovating and looking for like those problems. So like the new ratchet that they released today, like
Yep.
I'm a huge fan again of another brand ratchet, and so they filled all of those needs, and they've been listening to me complain about it for the last 3 years. And they took what I wanted and made it better, which I wanted something simple like a button. I hated the paddle trigger. They made that. You can do the paddle, you can do the trigger. It's modular. You can change the trigger out. I would have never thought about that. I'm like, just give me a button. But they just took that and made it way better. So that's what I love about them. Again, is not only are they taking the feedback, good or bad, but they're looking to make it even better than what you think. So that's why I love Milwaukee Tools for sure.
Yeah, great stuff. Chris Enright Automotive on all of the social media. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah, thanks
Enjoy
for
the rest
having
of
me.
Pipeline,
Yeah.
and we'll see you again next time.